Almost everything that we buy today is packaged in plastics. Some say they use green plastic while others call their packaging environment friendly. But at the end of the day, plastic is plastic. Less polluting or more, it will always take thousands of years to decompose. Of all sorts of plastics, the worst are single-use plastic. Just tear the packaging and now it becomes garbage. We throw that into the bins or discard them into landfills. However, the land is limited, so what can be done with all that plastic waste? No one would want a mountain of garbage at the back of their house. So developed countries came up with an idea, the idea of exporting their garbage to poor countries and then throwing them into the ocean. But isn't the ocean limited to? Since the plastic is almost non-biodegradable and lighter than water, it started aggregating together and very soon a new island appeared. But the only problem is that it is made up of plastic and is highly toxic. Yes, this is what really happened in the Pacific Ocean. We humans didn't even leave the oceans and its innocent animals. Hello and welcome back to our YouTube channel. Today we have brought you a bizarre formation of the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, though there is nothing great about this. In fact, it's our failure. So let's dwell into the facts and analyze how such a monstrous plastic island was formed. The Great Pacific Garbage Patch, often referred to as the Pacific Trash Vortex, is a colossal accumulation of marine debris located in the central North Pacific Ocean. It has gained widespread attention as a symbol of the global plastic pollution crisis, serving as a stark reminder of the environmental challenges we face today. The term Great Pacific Garbage Patch was coined by Charles J. Moore, an oceanographer and a boat captain, as he was returning home from the Trans-Pacific sailing race in 1997. He came across this huge patch of garbage while going through the North Pacific Gyre. Pacific Garbage Patch is not a solid mass of trash visible from space, as some misconceptions may suggest. It is a complex and dispersed collection of floating plastic debris spanning an estimated area of 1.6 million square kilometers. The patch is situated between Hawaii and California, with its size varying depending on the season and ocean currents. It is primarily composed of microplastics, including fragments of plastic bottles, bags, packaging, fishing gear, among other sources. On average, it has been noted that this huge patch moves around 35° north to 42° north and 135° west to 155° west. Moreover, the patch shifts from west to east and north to south based on seasonal changes in winds and current. The Great Pacific Garbage Patch is divided into two parts: the Eastern Garbage Patch that extends from California to Hawaii and the Western Garbage Patch that extends from Hawaii to Japan. A common misconception about the Great Pacific Garbage Patch is that it is an actual island, as it is referred to as a plastic island. However, it is just a floating patch of trash on the ocean surface that seems to look like an island due to the pollutants' close proximity. Moreover, it is said that the patch is roughly 1.6 million square kilometers in size, that is 3 times the size of France. The patch is a direct consequence of human activities, particularly the improper disposal of plastic waste. Plastic, a material known for its durability, takes hundreds of years to break down completely. As a result, discarded plastics accumulate in our oceans, transported by currents over time. The patch poses a range of environmental, economic and ecological threats. Marine life is severely affected by the presence of plastic debris. Being microscopic makes it more harmful for marine animals, as plastic can now easily be mistaken for food and consumed by fishes, sea turtles and sea mammals. In turn, humans consume these marine animals that may have mistakenly ingested unwanted plastic materials and can get sick. Loggerhead sea turtles often mistake plastic bags for jellyfishes, and albatrosses mistake plastic resin pellets for fish eggs and feed them to their little ones, which lead to inevitable death of these animals due to starvation or ruptured organs. Moreover, when microplastics collect in areas rich with algae and plankton, it disrupts the marine food chain. Plastics that have been broken into smaller pieces through a process called photodegradation tend to absorb pollutants such as PCBs from the seawater. During the process of photodegradation, the plastics release colorants and chemicals like bisphenol A that have been linked to health and environmental problems. These chemicals enter the food chain when consumed by tiny animals who mistake plastic for food. Addressing the Great Pacific Garbage Patch requires a multifaceted approach involving individuals, industries and governments. Here are a few potential solutions. Reducing plastic consumption. Individuals can play a crucial role by minimizing their use of single-use plastics and opting for reusable alternatives. This includes carrying reusable bags, water bottles and avoiding unnecessary packaging. Improving waste management. Governments must prioritize effective waste management systems, including recycling facilities, to prevent plastic waste from entering the oceans. This may involve implementing stricter regulations on plastic production and disposal, promoting extended producer responsibility, and investing in waste infrastructure. Innovation and technology. Advancements in waste collection and ocean cleanup technologies can aid in removing plastics from the ocean. Initiatives such as the Ocean Cleanup Project have developed passive systems to collect and remove plastic debris. Education and awareness. Raising public awareness about the impacts of plastic pollution through education campaigns, documentaries, and social media can encourage behavioral changes and collective action. Since the Great Pacific Garbage Patch is further away from all the coastlines that pollute it, no country is willing to take up the responsibility of cleaning it up. In an attempt to justify the lack of responsibility taken by surrounding nations, Charles Moore said that trying to clean the huge garbage patch would bankrupt any country. However, many international organizations and individual organizations are trying to prevent it from growing more. The problem in trying to remove these plastics using nets is that many small sea animals would get captured too, being the same size as some of the plastic debris. Even if we figure out a way to design webs that could remove only plastic litter, it would take a huge amount of time which we do not seem to have. Addressing the Great Pacific Garbage Patch necessitates international cooperation. Governments, NGOs, businesses and communities need to work together to tackle this global issue. Cooperation can include sharing research, funding cleanup efforts and supporting sustainable practices across industries. A large number of ocean cleanups are taking place all around the world to help control the plastic pollution. We humans need to learn that we are just one of the millions of species on the planet Earth, and we really need to get some responsibilities on our shoulders to keep this home of ours for other members too. I hope today you learned something good and will work for the betterment of the nature. But what's the easiest way to reduce plastic garbage? Use a cloth or jute handbag whenever you go for shopping. This way we can discard hundreds and thousands of tons of single-use plastic every year. Got any more ideas? Do tell us in the comment section.